How's everyone doing? This is the second time I filmed this video. I filmed the entire thing yesterday up on our balcony. It's a cool spot. Unfortunately, too much ambient noise. I was using the Rode microphone that I have attached to my camera now. Since then, I bought a new lav mic, which I will use when I start doing some of those outdoor filming, just because the ambient noise was, I filmed for 13 minutes and I came back and the noise was so disruptive. I tried gating it, wasn't really going to work. In any case, I just wanted to give you an update on what I'm planning on doing with my channel, my push to get 1,000 subscribers, and also the song I'm currently working on, which is a Christmas song that I wrote a few years ago, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So quickly, yesterday when I did the other video, I was at 489 subscribers. Now we're at 490, and I'm adding one or two a day, or have been for the last couple months, which for no great reason. I don't really know why that's occurred, but either way, I'm happy for it. I realize it's not a lot, but we're pushing for 1,000 subscribers. And I'll be happy when we hit 500, just because it'll be a mark, 10 more subscribers. So of course, if you're watching and you're at all interested in what I'm doing, I don't want people to subscribe just because, oh, he wants subscribers. But only if you're interested in what I'm doing. We'll talk a little bit about what that's going to be. Then great, subscribe and let other people know about the channel. So here's my plans for the channel. I'm a songwriter and performer, but I'm not a full-time songwriter and performer. Over the last year, I've spent a lot of time really working on my recording and producing skills, kind of mixing, things like that. I use Reaper, and that isn't something over the past many years that I spent a lot of time on. And I was challenged a year ago, October, by some people on the Reaper Discord forum to spend some time and really improve learning how to mix music, because they said, you've got some songs that are good and you should do them justice. So I spent my time doing that, and so my plan with the channel is just to let you in on what I'm working on, the things I'm doing, whether it's the live performances and how I'm improving my skill there, the vocal lessons I take and how that's made a huge difference in what I'm able to do when it comes to delivering my music and doing a better job of representing the songs live or recording. And then also what I'm doing recording, including things I do to promote my music, whether it's running Facebook ads. We've had some good success with that while I was doing this last set of gigs up the street here. Kind of created my own little showcase, and I'd promote those shows, and we were not spending a lot of money on ads. We were covering all the ad cost plus 2 or 3 times over just on tips alone. And so that was a great experience, and I'll give you some of the insight, what I was taught by, for instance, somebody at Inside Meta on the advertising side, things they told me to think about. And so the goal with the channel is just to kind of let you in to my life as a performing songwriter, but also one who doesn't spend their full time doing that. While I want to do more of it, I've got my main gig, I've got the sundries of life. My main gig, for some of you know, I'm a software developer, productivity app developer for Meta right now. And I've done this for many years. So productivity apps are kind of like the things that departments use. You would never see it if you go to Facebook or Instagram or any of Meta's products. You would never see my software. My software is behind the scenes, an accounting department, or I'm doing a project for people that build data centers and building some tracking systems for specific work they do, or helping them kind of wrangle their data and write automation to clean up their data so that they can report on it more accurately. So that's what I do, and I've done that for many, many years, primarily behind the scenes internal software. I have a standard joke when people say, how do you make money playing music? And I say, learn to code, right? So I've been writing software since I was in high school, but I've been playing music for even longer than that, writing songs. And with this newfound interest or focus on learning to record, then I'm spending more time recording my music and doing a better job of representing that. So in any case, that's the goal with the channel, is to kind of let you behind the scenes, see what I do as far as gear for gigging, gear for recording, the tools I use on my desktop, whether that's Notion, the software I use to make notes, or Google Drive and how I use that to collaborate with other performers and, you know, share my music ideas, you know, songs out to them, and then they can upload their stems to me. So all of those things. So we'll cover all of that, and hopefully that can provide some interest. And then also just like I say, the sundries of life. It's the everyday things we have to do and balance while we're wanting to work on music, or while we're wanting to work on whatever creative endeavor. So, you know, for instance, I have a relationship and it's a good one, and I want to maintain that and give it time. Although sometimes I become so focused on my creative output that I become hugely impatient with everybody in my life because I just want to focus on the music. So if you share that mindset from time to time, I totally get it. It's something I have to stop and think about, take a breath. If any of that sounds interesting, then great. Watch the channel, see what we're gonna do. We have some stuff coming up and some things planned. I'm creating a content plan in Notion, and I'll share a little bit of that with you at another time. And I hope that's enough to make the channel interesting. I'm gonna try and you know, just do a better job of editing, add some, you know, personal interest items and B-roll and all that fun stuff, because I find video to be an amazing medium, one that I have not taken enough advantage of, and that's part of the plan, is to really have fun with that and create some things that might be interesting. That's the plans with the channel. So we're gonna shoot for 1,000 subscribers. I wanna get there as quickly as possible. I'm gonna kind of lay out what my goal is with that and how we'll make that happen. And then right now, just on a musical side, I'm working on a Christmas song. Now, I wrote this song and actually released the song. It's called Christmas Heart. I worked with Emiko, another performer I have known for years, and we've performed together many times. And so she's a keyboard player, piano, Hammond organ, things like that, as well as a singer, a songwriter. She recorded piano, Hammond, and vocals for me. But when I was mixing the song, well, first of all, I wrote the song back in 2019, literally a couple days before Christmas. As a matter of fact, I've got my songwriting journal here, and this is pretty interesting. My daughter got me this I have a little note in here. I'm not going to show the note just because it's hard to read, but also it has my telephone number. I'm not going to put that out there. But it says, received on 12/10/2019 from Sarah, my youngest. And so this was my songwriting journal. The first song I wrote in that journal was on 12/23. And it just says Christmas song. I don't know if you could read that. So up here it says Christmas song. And the song was inspired by the fact that my third child, Christopher, who, if you've been on my Substack, some of you know about what he's been through. He was living on the streets of Los Angeles, addicted to fentanyl. And he really went through some pretty challenging times. We almost lost him. I spent a lot of time on the streets with addicts, getting to know that entire community. I knew gang members, drug dealers, police officers, care workers, the addicts themselves. It was eye-opening for sure. And he ultimately paid a pretty heavy medical price. He ended up in the hospital in the end of 2021 and spent 70 plus days there. You can read about that on my Substack. I'll have a link to some of that. He's coming up on 3 years clean. He's got his own apartment, he's got a job, so he's doing really well. But it was a harrowing story. And the first line I really wrote in that song that kind of came to my head while I was on the street, so I didn't write it in my journal yet, was while we were out there, he was living at this freeway underpass that just had big homeless community there. And I was there right before Christmas, and I'm watching trucks pass overhead, and there's this mass of humanity underneath that live a very different life. And they're passing overhead, and I think I saw like an Amazon truck, or maybe it was a FedEx truck, I'm not sure. And so I wrote this line, because there was a young woman there who had a child. And I wrote this line, I see a baby, I see a mother, I see the freeway they're living under. It carries the same day package delivery. For all of that, I've been good, what will it get me? There's a little bit of a cynical take on just watching the humanity that's just living their lives over the freeway, unaware of or mostly ignoring this other massive humanity. And it really, the contrast of that just really hit me. And so I started thinking about Christmas as something that is often lonely to people, and that to change that or to make it better for people, I need to be a better person. So I recorded that song with Emiko, produced it, but everything was super over compressed. I really didn't deliver what I thought was a good vocal performance. Any number of things were wrong. Emiko did great. I just didn't know how to mix music. So I'm going back and I'm re-recording that. I just got drums the other day, hired a drummer, brought those into my mix. I re-recorded my acoustic guitar. I'm now going over some electric guitar parts. I brought Emiko's stems back into it. So we're just reproducing it from scratch. And I'll share some of that. My goal is to try and finish it really over this week, Thanksgiving week. The only challenge to that is I'm getting over being sick. We've had a pretty bad flu for 2 weeks. Deb's still coughing like crazy. I'm mostly over coughing. I occasionally have little fits of coughing, but we think we're close to being able to sing. So we're hoping to re-record my vocals and do a better job of that. Because once again, time is of the essence. We're coming into December, and I'd like to have the Christmas song done and ready to release by the first week of December. Whether or not we'll be able to create some kind of video to go with it, other than a lyric video, we'll see. I have to kind of coordinate with Emiko, in which we're planning on doing some shows after the first of the year. We're already discussing some of the things, and maybe putting a band together as well. So between the two of us, we can share band members, and I can play guitar on her music, she can play keys and piano and Hammond on mine, and then we can share, you know, a drummer or a percussionist, a bass player, whatever else we decide to add to it. Look for that Christmas song. Once again, I'll have a link to both the lyrics, and I'll actually link to the old production. I'm a little embarrassed by it, but it's out there. You can take a look at what the song is all about if you haven't heard it yet. So that's my plans with the channel. Hopefully that's interesting, but we're going to try and have fun with it, and I would love it if you join me on this journey. So thank you.
There's a baby, there's a mother, there's a freeway, they're living under, carry